Hi, I'm Phil Venables, partner at Ballistic Ventures, and I'm really pleased today to be with Aviv Nahum, who's the CEO and founder of Above Security. We at Ballistic Ventures are in the process of leading the Series A investment in Above. Really pleased to be working with the team, and so just to give you a bit of a backdrop on why we think this is an important space and a tremendous company to invest in. So this is in the space of insider threat risk management. And insider threats are becoming a more prevalent risk for companies. And it's not just the traditional view of insider risk where perhaps you want to look for previously trusted people that have now gone bad, but it's also about more about infiltrators, fake workers, innocent employees being duped or coerced into activities that can harm the enterprise. And there are many tools out there that give you like the breadcrumbs of suspicious activity, but they don't give you the full picture. And what we really loved about Above Security is this ability to take a wide ranging set of sensory capabilities and using AI to build that complete narrative of activities that are inherently high fidelity. And Above Security also has taken great lengths to make sure there's near zero false positives, which also enables highly reliable risk ranking of the true positives. So it lets teams efficiently respond to the right events in the right way. Few organizations historically have been able to afford to build and operate a world-class insider risk management team. But with Above Security, we think everybody is going to get the effect of a highly trained AI capability that can deliver this effect. And not only is this about delivery on day one, in fact, most customers have been up and running in minutes to hours, finding latent issues that were vital to resolve. But it's also about the efficiency and automatic ongoing tuning that takes almost no effort from the company. And this partnership to mitigate this ever increasing risk in efficient and effective ways is what we think makes Above Security a compelling story. So let me just, Aviv, it's great to be partnering with you. Wonderful business, wonderful space. Why don't you kind of talk us through, how you founded the company, how you think about this, the experience so far?
And first, we're incredibly excited to be launching Above alongside Ballistic, Melon Ventures, and Norwest Ventures. For me personally, for us, for the entire company, this is a deeply intentional company. I previously built and sold the company in the Agentic space, and Amir, my co-founder and CTO, was the first VP R&D at Silverfort. He helped build identity security into what became a unicorn. We've both built security platforms before, and we started Above because we saw one category that was clearly broken. Historically, insider risk has been almost impossible to operationalize. Everyone knew it was expensive, everyone knew it was dangerous, but only highly regulated banks or intelligence level organizations could really afford to run serious insider risk programs. And it's just because insider risk required investigators, and it required judgment, and it required context. And the industry tried to replace it with rules and, as you said, breadcrumbs. So DLP, next-gen DLP, UEBA, you name it, all of those acronyms, and all of them rely on predefined logic. So rules, thresholds, anomaly scoring, configurations. But humans never live inside static rules. Behavior changes, intent changes, pressure changes, especially nowadays, 2026. And inside the risk is fundamentally behavioral. Inside the risk is not a data problem, it's not a logging problem, it's an investigation problem. And investigations don't scale with rule engines, they scale with reasoning. So we built something different. Above is a fleet of AI investigative analysts, always on, always reasoning, always evaluating behavior in context, no static rules, no configurations, no keyword tuning, no SIM-dependent anomaly thresholds. Our agents continuously analyze who the user is, what's normal for them, what changed, whether it's negligent, malicious, coerced, or just harmless, which is, to be honest, what we're seeing the most. And instead of alerts, as you mentioned, we generate full-blown investigation-ready narratives. We surface the context, we understand what happened, why it happened, and we don't just detect after something happens, we try to operate proactively. So when risky behavior is forming, not after the damage, we intervene. We provide real-time, contextual, inline coaching, which are not blocking by design. They are not heavy-handed enforcement, rather intelligent guidance in the moment. Are you sure you want to do this? Here is why this may violate policy. Here is a safer path. And that's exactly what turns insider risk from reactive forensics into proactive behavioral guidance.
I mean, one of the things I've found really interesting in talking to CISOs about this space is actually just how both frustrated they are with the current approaches, as you described, and how excited they are about having a new approach. You know, I think any other space of cybersecurity or risk management, there's just like so many ways of solving the problem, and CISOs are overwhelmed with solutions. But what's been fascinating in this space is just how little innovation there has been, and now how ready they are for something that's new.
What we are seeing as well is that it fundamentally changes the role of the CISO, right? Because up until now, HR or legal would walk into their office and they would ask, can you reconstruct what happened? And the CISO, you know, we already knew. They walk into those conversations with half-baked narratives, half-baked timelines, trying to make sense of what an employee did, of what one of their identities did in the enterprise. And this was, you know, the golden feature that was promised to them by legacy products that never been able to deliver. And this is why we are seeing that, you know, the AI agent investigators, this is where they change the entire game. And we turn those CISOs who beforehand tried to collect breadcrumbs from here and there and try to make sense of something into the champions.
Interestingly, that timeliness of response, so being able to investigate, build the narrative, get to a decision very quickly is vital for detecting and dealing with bad activity. But one of the things I've observed as well at this early stage is also how companies like to use that to be able to affirmatively deny something has happened, where some claim may have been made, and they need to quickly investigate it and refute that claim, as well as detecting the bad thing. I mean, are you seeing that as a big part of the use case as well?
This is exactly leading to my next point, where insider risk is a blanket term, right? It consists of so many things, whether denying claims, providing evidence regarding what? It's not just data exfiltration. It's not just the employee trying to prove whether he did or whether he did not exfiltrate data. It comes down to data misuse and overemployment and inappropriate access, coercion. You mentioned nation-state pressure, which is now an absolute huge issue in the world, negligence, malicious insiders, everything you can think of. And what we are seeing that exactly all types of these use cases of the entire blanket term, they don't share rules, right? They share the need for continuous investigation and for evidence. And that's exactly what our AI fleet delivers. And what we like the most about it is, you mentioned it at the beginning of the conversation, that only a select few companies could afford insider risk and could afford the ability to deliver on evidence, investigations, chain of evidence, chain of custody. We are democratizing it. We are already deployed across every organization type. Usually more than 1,000 people is when the problem starts to hit and they just couldn't solve it before. And essentially, every company now has the ability to solve insider risk with us, with Above Security.
Again, Aviv, we're so pleased to be partnering with you on the next step of the journey. And we're looking forward to helping more and more companies manage this amazingly critical risk.